Hello, 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 hello. Welcome everybody to another episode of a Stoked Podcast. I am, of course, one Stokes, Javon Stokes, artist, writer, founder of Visually Stoked Media, and your host for tonight. We are Jamari is in absentee. Is that how you say it? He has other obligations that are apparently more important than this show. That's okay. I won't hold it against him because he is a slacker. But we have a good show tonight. This is episode 49. Wow. We might have to do something special for the 50th episode. I don't know. I mean, we have a guest scheduled, but I haven't put anything together. But 50 episodes, considering, I kind of did this show almost a little bit on the lark. I'm going to pat my own back for a little bit here. But we've got good guests. We've got two guests tonight. I'm not going to hold them since it's just me. I told them I didn't come up with a intro, so I'm going to wing it. So here we go. Our two guests. The two guests tonight are two very incredibly talented individuals. One is a writer / inker. The other is a writer / artist. They are the creative team on the property I drive for Cerber. Both frequent viewers of the show, as well as really good individuals as a whole. Maybe not one of them. You can guess which one. Welcome in Shaun Barbour and Kyrun Silva.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Javon? Welcome. We'll let the viewers figure out which one isn't the good guy.
This is the Oreo episode. It looks like, apparently.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I'm keeping it. It is what it is. We'll let it ride. Listen, for the viewers, I'm going to apologize for Kyrun and his behavior ahead of time. He has decided to leave the version of him on his show that's very calm and professional. He clearly has decided to choose violence tonight. So
it's because I'm hungry. This is dinner time. So
man, this is not dinner time. It's what, 4 o'clock there?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. That's not dinner time, dude. That's like people get home. People leave their jobs at 5 o'clock.
Not my family.
Dinner time.
Not my family. We eat 5 to 6, roughly in that time frame.
Y'all be hungry as hell at 9 o'clock, huh?
No, we go to bed at 9.
Y'all be hungry. Y'all be in bed, just stomach grumbling. Like, oh man, I'm so mad we ate at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Just wait until I get really old and we eat at 3.
Wait until you get really old, Kyrun?
If I'm older, is that better?
I mean, you got the pepper up there. We got the pepper. All right.
I'm like, you're the only one that seems to have like a solid hair color.
No, I mean, we're right. I got like 1 or 2, maybe 3 in there somewhere.
Javon is the founder of Just for Men.
Hey, listen, I take pride in the fact that I haven't lost anything yet.
Fair enough.
I'm holding on for dear life, especially when I got family members and friends around me. They're all losing it. I'm still holding on.
All right.
I'm holding. This is gone though. I just want y'all. This is gone as soon as it warms up. I'm gonna go goatee.
I'm just thinking if I've ever seen you without a beard now.
Oh yeah, this is
It's
new.
been a minute.
It's been a minute
though.
It's been a while because I did this for the winter. Actually, that's not true. I did this because I was like, how long can my beard grow? And this is about it. I do trim it down every now and again because it gets scraggly. But I don't know how we got here. Welcome, guys. I was trying to welcome, and then Kyrun took it to a bad place. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Always blame the black guy. I see how it is.
Well, there's only two of us on the show, so if it ain't one,
you are on one.
Oh man. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Stoked Podcast. Stupid. Oh gosh, if Jamari was here, we'd never get through the show. So for people who don't know, I always usually start the show off with a very similar question, considering whatever the career that the guests are in. So I'm going to ask you both, even though I've asked Kyrun this question since Kyrun's been on the show before, but that's okay. People who haven't watched it might not know. So I'll start with you, Shaun. When did your love of comics begin?
Oh man, comics for me were an escape from home life when I was growing up. So and they didn't actually start with like X-Men or anything. It was more like an Evil Ernie situation and being in a house full of foster kids and stuff like that. That was one of the first characters and the stories at the time that resonated with me. And then from there, it just kind of blossomed and got me into art, actually.
Excuse me.
So,
okay, Evil Ernie. All right. You know, I've never read an Evil Ernie book.
Really?
Never?
I know all about it, but I've never read an Evil Ernie or Lady Death or any of that.
Okay.
Wow. That's amazing, honestly.
I know. I
always felt Evil Ernie had a better story than Lady Death did. I don't know why.
I did too, but it's because he sold his rights to that character. He kept the rights to Lady Death, so he lost. I feel
he still had the rights to Evil Ernie. No?
What's that?
He doesn't have the rights to Evil Ernie anymore?
No.
I met him at one of the cons I was at. Nice guy, but I remember meeting him. Nice guy. Anywho, Kyrun.
It's at Devil's Due right now.
Yeah. Well, Evil Ernie or all his stuff?
Evil Ernie is at Dynamite.
Oh, really?
Is it?
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Kyrun. Yeah. When did your love of comics begin, my brother?
God, mid 80s or late 80s. I mean, I always watched like cartoons, you know, G.I. Joe, all those good stuff. And Ninja Turtles came on. I fell in love with that. And then my aunt introduced me to the comic book for Ninja Turtles. And then, like, I always knew about Spider-Man, Superman, all that. But the idea of seeing what was on TV now in comic book form, I could hold it and read it. It was just a new world for me. And then from there, that's when X-Men started blowing up. So that's when I started gravitating towards it. And I was like, yep, this is my jam right here. Everything about X-Men, you know, everything about these group of people that nobody liked for whatever reason, you know, just because they were a little different. That was me back in late 80s, early 90s today at this point. And I've been in love with comics.
So hard not to date yourself.
I'm an 80s kid, dude.
We're like the same. Well, I think we're about this.
I think we're all around the same age. I think we're all there. It's all right. It's okay, guys. I'm 41. I have no problem telling people how
I'm 42. Yeah.
Listen, man. I fought long and hard to get here.
Damn, you youngins.
Kyrun, you're like a year older than me, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be 43 in a couple months.
Yeah, see,
I was about to call you a bad word. I'm gonna be 42 this in August. Whatever, dude. You talk about youngins.
August what?
2nd.
Mine's August 4th.
Those August babies.
That's I'll just leave the chat. Y'all best friends now. I'll just leave.
Hey, listen, man. I'm sorry if people like me, Kyrun. All right, it just happens. I'm not trying. It just happens. All right. It's funny you said that, Kyrun. Like, I would say, if I'm being honest, I would say like 90% of the people who come on the show and talk about where their love of comics began or where it like really took off is X-Men.
Yeah.
And it just conceptually, like, it just amazes me how it touched like that one property, not Superman, not Batman, not even Spider-Man. Like, that stuff seems to like come later, but like X-Men just touches every single person.
It was way accessible, and I think it like all the different characters people got to resonate with, not just one. So even if you had friends who liked a different character, you could still talk about the same show, which was a little bit different than, like, say, with Superman, because you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. Well, but even more than like the Avengers or Justice League, they have just, different characters as well. But it's just like the concept of X-Men, because I think we can all agree that we were all like outsiders at one point. If you love comic books, 9 times out of 10, especially in the 80s, in the 90s, you were called nerd. You were on the outside looking in. And it's just amazing. It's amazing how like that concept just kind of like grabs people.
Well, I do think it's also a little bit what Shaun says is that if you look at the X-Men compared to the Avengers, a lot of the Avengers were sort of the same. Like Captain America, Thor, it was sort of the same mold of a character. Yeah, the powers are different, but they were basically the same concept. But X-Men, every story was focusing on different character. Like Nightcrawler was in any way the same as Storm. Storm was no way the same as Wolverine, and
Right.
you know, even Cyclops was completely different in the way they acted, the way they looked, the way they just portrayed them, and it was just revolutionary. I mean, and I still don't even think they really recaptured that
See,
feeling with X-Men
even like the
nowadays.
morality of the characters was different. Not everybody was trying to be the pure being. You had your Wolverines, you had your Gambit, you had your Nightcrawler. All of them had different levels. You know,
Even Magneto to a degree
looked like a demon was the holiest one out of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Chris Claremont doesn't. He needs more credit, in my opinion. Like, I know it's crazy to say he needs more credit, and I know a lot of people try to get on him now about how verbose he was, you know, back then. But you know, with his style of writing. But the truth of the matter is, he crafted, like you said, like characters that felt like real people. Like everybody had their own motivation. Like you said, everybody had their own morality. Wolverine liked to kill people. Storm, not so much. Well, that's not really true. Storm was killing a lot of people. Like, if we're being honest, like, I always find it funny when Storm tries to come in and be like, "We don't kill," and I'm like, "Hey, man, you killed Calypso, you killed."
You tossing them Morlocks recently?
I'm just saying, you know, Morlocks aren't exactly happy with you. You know, you just murked their leader. I mean, but just
even outside of Claremont, look at Scott Lobdell and Peter David, what they did for like X Factor. You know, X-Force. I mean, X-Force was a horrible book in itself, but it was still fun.
I like
X-Force made no sense as a concept. It made no sense.
Why? Why not? It was they were a paramilitary group, meaning they were more like proactive than the X-Men. The X-Men was like a team. I always looked at the X-Men as like search and rescue.
Sure.
That's why.
What were they paramilitarying for? It wasn't for the X-Men. It was for themselves.
They were trying to get people. They were trying to take them out.
There was no like. There was
they
no
were. It was what's the MLF, the Mutant Liberation Front. I remember this. They were a terrorist group, and X-Force was trying to get them.
That was one storyline. How'd we
that
get
was like the entire storyline? That was like 30 issues right there. I don't know what to tell you.
And then we found out that Strife was like Cable's clone, and we're like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking.
Hey, I lost my mind when I saw that. I was like, what? Oh my god. Oh. But that's how I've always looked at it. I've always like, maybe it's me, and I always think about, and I'm wondering if you guys looked at it this way. When you see certain properties, you make up pitches in your head if you ever get a chance to do it.
Okay.
Do you?
I don't know.
I think I probably have at least once.
I feel like I do it all the time.
Okay.
Like all the time. I can drop a pitch for anything. It's just it's a writing like exercise for me.
What's your pitch for I Drive for Cerber then?
I got to read the book first.
Oh. Dang.
Actually, you don't have to wait to read the book. I mean, it does exist already.
Okay. I mean, we could get into it. You know what? We were gonna talk a little bit more, but we could get back into that. Tell us about I Drive for Cerber.
So the pitch is basically Cerber is a Uber service for the paranormal. And that's discovered by our main character, Jim, who is out of on his luck and trying to find a new job. He finds it through scrolling through his phone like all of us do, just randomly flipping through. He applies, gets approved, and he finds out that this business is actually going to pay really well. So he takes the survey. They call him right up. He takes the job. And now he has to not only deliver his passengers safely, but also survive the night. And while he's doing that, a literal goes from his past, dredges up some things that he needs to look into.
That sounds hilarious. It sounds like it belongs on like CBS. Like it's almost it's very close to. I mean, conceptually, Ghosts and everything like that. You know, CBS has like 2 of those shows like now. But I mean, it sounds hilarious, and I'm assuming that it is a comedy, horror comedy.
Yeah, I would probably liken it to. I mean, if you're familiar with like horror movies, the same type of feel as maybe an Idle Hands or American Werewolf in Paris.
I love
So
American Werewolf in Paris.
yeah, see, they got that snarky humor. You know, he's got a mouth on him that gets him in trouble, and then you have your the creepy monsters or cryptids doing their thing, trying to take him out or help him out, depending.
Okay. Now, how long is the series? Is this a mini series? Is this a one shot?
So the arc currently is going to be 2 issues long, but there is a lot of potential. And I've been talking with Mofucius, the original writer of the story, on expanding it. Should this go well, which it looks like it is, for another arc, but it involves the same character. So it's almost like it's episodic, but this would be part 1 of 2.
So you said the original creator of the property. Now,
Yeah.
how did this exist previously? Like, how did you guys come across it?
My oldest son was really into creepy pastas and like short horror stories, and he was talking to me, and I want to be interested in whatever my kids are into, you know, just to have a shared interest. And I started reading them and listening to them on YouTube, and I came across one that I actually really liked enough and thought that the layout that it was already written in would transition well into comic books. So it was written under the name Mofucius, which is a pen name. So I had to do a little bit of homework and research, but I was actually able to make contact with the writer. And after talking with them, they actually gave me full permission to make the comic book, and they fell even more in love with it once they saw Kyrun's artwork. So it really worked out, especially considering all of us live probably within an hour and a half of each other, which is purely coincidence.
Okay. So that's a great transition. Kyrun, how'd you get involved?
Shaun asked me, actually. He just straight up DM'd me, slid into my DMs. He said, Kyrun, I've wanted to work with you for a while. Because initially, Shaun was going to be the inker on Ruby from Planet Oz. And then I just got a big ego and said, I'm going to do it myself. But Shaun was like, Kyrun, I still want to work with you. And like, he was like, hey, I think your style would be great for this book. And he told me the concept. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. And then he told me he'd pay me. I was like, oh yeah, I'm really in now.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Heck, I'm in. I'm paying. I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you fitting this in between your other projects though? Like you're drawing quite a few books.
I've already actually drawn this whole book. I drew this all, I think I finished it in August last year.
Yeah, it's been a couple months because I was juggling which one was going to finish first, Belial or I Drive for Cerber, because they were both being worked on at the same time.
I think it took me about 3, maybe 4 months, maybe a little bit longer because I had a few deaths in the family during the same time. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, last year sucked, dude, honestly. But no, I was pumping out maybe 2 pages a week.
Mm-hmm.
And Shaun was like, I'm gonna ink it, and he was busting out those inks quick too. And we would have launched this earlier, but Kickstarter is a butt, so they were giving Shaun here a bunch of BS and some hassle, so we had to delay it until now. But I think it worked out better, because I think if we had launched it our original time, which would have been around Thanksgiving, Christmas, I don't think it would have been as successful as it has gone so far.
Yeah, the spacing of it has actually really, really worked out, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to launch anything around Christmas. You might not get. I'm just gonna be honest. You're not gonna get a lot. I almost did that before. I almost launched a book around that time, and I remember a friend of mine. I can't remember who did it, but they were like, Javon, listen, I like your book, I do, but ain't nobody buying it if you do it during Christmas. And I was like, okay, I'll wait. And then I waited a few months and it worked out.
Dude, listening to the people that are giving you advice is huge. And that's why one of the reasons why having Kyrun on board, he's been doing this longer than me. Like, I respect him so much more. And I view him as, definitely higher than me. I met him originally at a convention, and he didn't realize it, and we didn't get into that until even a couple years after that. So it was kind of fun.
I'm bad with names and faces, so I forget everybody.
And
I'm great with faces. I'm great with faces, but if you talk to me at a convention,
yeah. From what Shaun said, like we were both vendors at the convention, and he just came over to me and said hi, and I was like, hey, whatever. So,
but it's a lot though. Like conventions are it's like sensory overload.
Yeah.
So like I could understand like I met you because I have that people happen to me all the time. Like they'll come back to a con and they'll be like, yeah, I bought your book, and I'm like, yeah. But that's cool, man. That's cool. So how long have you been doing professional? How long have you been professional, Shaun? By the way, this is the Kickstarter below. Right there. If you want to go and support, I was supposed to be putting up graphics, but I will, while you talk, I will show these lovely people some of the artwork for Bam. I drive for Cerber. That's an awesome. This is awesome image right there, though. I love it.
You straight up ripped that right out of the comic book. That is actually one of the panels of the book, and I thought it just worked so well. I felt like it looked like something you'd find on Netflix or something, So I had to give it that layout.
We don't want to. I was trying not to block you out, but
it's okay.
There we go. That's why they have.
But I've been doing this for probably about 5 years. I started out with a comic book called Into the Darkness, and then I did.
That was for later.
I did one, Welcome to the Void for Chuck Pinot, and then if anybody knows me now, it's probably from the comic book that I did with Chuck called Belial. And then I've been an inker on probably 25 other books, and even got the chance to ink a cover for the comic book Good Boy, which has been fairly popular by SourcePoint. And so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so about 5 years now.
Danny, this is I Drive for Cerber, man. Shouldn't you know this? Like, weren't you on the show with these guys? Like, didn't you interview him?
No, he hasn't, because we're going to interview Shaun Saturday.
I mean, you've got your friend.
You get to pick all the best questions. So if you do this right, he'll have to come up with new questions. So if you give me a top 5, then I don't know what he's going to be left with.
Yeah, he needs to do his job. That's what he needs to do.
Okay, I'll give you guys some little tea. Danny just makes up those questions at like the last moment. So
I do too. I'm not going to lie to you. I do too.
Like in the middle of the show, he'll send me a list. I'll be like, okay.
I knew he was. This is awesome. This is really great.
As long as in his research phase, he doesn't go too far back into my banning phase of Facebook, man.
Now, who does? Can you talk about the rest of the team? Who does the colors for it?
Okay, so the colors for that right there is a gentleman by the name of Chris Hall, and the preview pages were done by King Bola. But we've recently brought on Kenny Aiken of Cybernetic Ninja Owl onto the project, and he was kind of excited. He reached out when I put out kind of like an SOS looking for a new colorist, and he stepped up to the plate, and I'm pretty excited. So anything from what you see here moving forward is actually going to be him, which should be rad.
Now, is this digitally drawn, Kyrun?
No, actually, all the pencils I did by hand. Shaun inked it digitally, but all the pencils are done by hand.
Yeah.
Any digital work I do is mostly just the inking process and the coloring process for my own work, but most of my pencils are all freehand. I just find it easier. I'm more loose than I am digitally.
Yeah, and like I said, I was just telling you guys, and I told the world that I'm trying to get away from it just because I don't have an in-house scanner. So it's hold on. Danny wants to know what's a cryptid.
I guess a cryptid would be any kind of creature that somebody has seen that seems as if they were supernatural. So like your Bigfoots, your Loch Ness monster, your Loveland frog. There's tons of them out there.
Loveland frog.
Yeah, it's because
I said the same thing. What is that?
See, I used to live in Loveland, Ohio. and so I was familiar with the cryptid from the area because almost every place has a cryptid. California is overwhelmed with them apparently, but yeah, Loveland Frog, and I guess he used to live at an old dynamite factory, which was pretty creepy to drive through all the time. But
That,
I've
that sounds terrifying.
I've never heard of a cryptid for California. So
Bigfoot was found. What that photo that you see is in California. Come on now,
Stand, Danny. Danny, I'm not posting any more of your stuff, man. You're a troublemaker. You're a habitual line stepper.
this is why he gets no abilities on our show to post anything. Everything has to go through me.
You gotta okay everything. I thought these were cool. These little character. These are stickers, right?
absolutely. And I
And
actually I drew those.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
And-
gotta make sure Shaun gets all his props and love for this. He drew all these little stickers.
So I've done a bunch of stickers for Belial. I've done stickers for other people, and it's just something I'm naturally more comfortable doing. And so it just made sense for me to draw these out. And then I reached out to one of my friends to color them and add the texture to it. So if you look real close on those, you'll be able to see like the clothing is textured. Jim's taco that he's holding, that's actually a shiny wrapper. He photoshopped the shiny wrapper in there, an actual beef. So like the actual ingredients, he put them in there. So I thought those were fun little touches.
I do that all the time. All the time. Listen, guys, this is, you guys are fully funded. I just want everybody to know this property is fully funded. So you're gonna get your stuff.
We're fully funded and we've already hit our first stretch goal.
And hitting first stretch. So we got to get them over to the second stretch goal. Well, number one, I'm excited for you guys. It's always exciting to go, get funded in what, 7-9 days, you said?
Yeah, 9 days. It was overwhelming to me.
That's absurd.
Like I am a fatalist, I think, when I think about things. And so it was hard for me to find the enthusiasm, but that first day really jumped up there and had me concerned because I didn't know what I was going to do if it continued going at the rate it was. So I'm super grateful, but it's because people shared. Kyrun shared, other people on the team shared, which is a big deal, and then people who love the story shared. That's a real big thing.
Danny says all bonuses go to artists, right?
Yeah, they all go to Shaun to pay off his credit card debt.
I did pay up front with my credit card first for a lot of this.
Listen, if you are a viewer and you don't understand what it's like to do a Kickstarter, it is nerve-wracking. It is frustrating. It can make you feel really good, but then like you guys could talk about it a little more. But I know for me, like I can get like 3 or 4, people. Okay, good, I got you. And then it'll be nothing for like 2-3 days. And you're just like, what do I do? Like, how do I get it out? Like, have you guys run into any like roadblocks, any kind of like dead spells where you're just like, oh, it might not even just be for I Drive for Cerber, but for other Kickstarters?
For other Kickstarters, yeah, for sure, definitely. I know with the Belial books, they were always waiting like last minute to see within the last few days, and then usually it's like that last 48-hour bump that you get that sets us over. So we get that. Cerber's been really consistent so far, and looking at the graph has been kind of reassuring for me.
Yeah, I know when we were talking earlier about not doing campaigns during the holidays, I did that once for a book called Donner Lane, which it was a Christmas themed book, and I loved that story. But it unfortunately it didn't fund. But I know like within the first week, I had so much dead time, just no pledges, and it's frustrating because you don't know what to do. You don't know like where to go, how to change it, how to get people's attention just to look at it, and you don't know why people aren't looking at it. So you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt, if this is something that really, Danny.
I told you, ignore Danny, man. Danny, it's past his bedtime anyway.
You know what, Danny? If you want to pay me for another book, I can make Donner Lane then happen somehow. I'm just saying.
So we've got a question from a viewer, kind of off topic, but that's okay. The whole show is off topic. It should be called off topic. Going back to drawing the pages, do you find it easier to make the line work in traditional or digital, or is it purely a personal preference?
I think it's a personal preference for everybody. I do know a lot of people that just do digital artwork, and then when they switch over to traditional, like just regular pencil, they're so unaccustomed to holding a pencil anymore. They don't know really, I mean, they know how to draw, but it just feels unusual for them. I'm the same way. I find the idea of holding a pencil, just the texture of holding it and running across the page is so much different than holding the pen on my Wacom and sliding it around. There's just a weird feeling to it. So I definitely find personally, going more traditional than anything.
To this day, I prefer line work and stuff myself, even like for the stickers and stuff, to be done traditionally. For some reason, the traditional feel is what's therapeutic, and then the digital stuff feels all business.
Danny's so weird right now. So freaking weird right now. He's trying to hijack my show. We're gonna ignore Danny right now. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm traditional right now. I'm trying to find a happy medium to go faster. Okay. And I'm trying to figure out what's a way to do that. And I was thinking about inking digitally, like that might be a better thing to do instead of just going full cold turkey. Just kind of, just draw real quick, sketchy, and then just try it that way.
Yeah, that's actually my technique. I'll do as much penciling as I feel comfortable with on regular paper, and then I'll scan it in, and then sorry. And then
listen, I apologize, everyone. If you can see the chat messages and you're seeing Danny in his verbal diarrhea.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with him though, but yeah, going back to the drawing.
We're not doing
once
that.
I go digitally with my inking because I have a very nervous hand when I ink. Like it'll shake a bit, and I don't get those smooth lines if I use a quill pen. And I've practiced using like a quill pen or a micron pen, but
it's hard.
It's hard getting that steady. Yeah.
It's unforgiving. You screw up, you gotta.
Yeah. Especially on paper, like, cause I don't do copies. I ink directly on my pencils.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't be doing that because it's easy. It's easier to just go make a copy and just ink right over it. But I don't know why I'm so lazy. Like, it's not lazy, but I'm like, God, I don't want to have to get up.
It's difficult.
I'm just saying,
it's a challenge.
It's
in other words that can be used like that.
Danny, I'm trying to hold on. How much do Savion wants to know, how much do scanners go for? It's like the ones we have at school.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an 11x17 scanner. It ran me a few $100. But it's a scanner and printer. I mean, they're not too bad now.
I swear to God, I've been trying to find one.
I bought mine's a couple years ago. It's a scanner, printer, and it has a scanner, glass scanner, and then it has one of the feeder scanners for like regular documents. I bought mine's for like $300-$400.
Really?
That's what mine was.
Yeah, and it's cool. Mine's it has a Wi-Fi printing also, so I can print something from my phone. So
it prints on the 11x17. So if you need to print your blue lines or whatever you want to do, like it works.
I need to find it. I gotta get that. Danny, you keep saying you can scan with your cell phone.
He's right. You can.
You can.
But you're not gonna get good quality off.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't make that a regular practice.
This is
I remember him showing the tutorial of doing it, and when I was watching, I was like, "That's a terrible scan."
I'd probably do that for like a storyboarding or something like that, but nothing.
Yeah. With something that you can get closer on, because the further back you get, the worse. Yeah. Anywho,
don't do it if you're gonna submit that to something professionally. If you're just scanning it for a quick scan.
I mean, if you're just gonna ink over it, I mean, Danny. Once again, all right.
Does he
whatever.
just want to join the show? Is that what's happening?
Danny, you want to come on? You can come on, man.
I mean,
are you feeling no one's paying attention to you? I think that's what it is. No one's paying attention to Danny right now. He needs someone. Danny, the invitation is there. Let me know. I will send your money there.
About buying a.
No, he's busy.
See, the problem is he sees you on the screen, he sees me on the screen, and he's like, "I'm supposed to be on the show."
He's supposed to be on right now, right? He's like, "Wait a minute, is it Saturday?
Is it Tuesday? What's going on?"
Wait a minute, I don't know what to do. Is it top 5? Is it I don't know. Anywho, let's we can get back in that jar to serve, but I'm really interested to figure out what's your favorite books that you're reading right now. It could be indie, it could be it could be mainstream. What books are you reading right now?
Right now, I kind of got into the comic book Nailbiter, which is pretty dope. And then another one called Crossed. So I'm real big on getting like trades and stuff. And with me leaning towards doing like horror type books, I looked up some of the staples of the horror books now, like top horror books. And I went in and got some of those just to try to help with layouts and page turns and the feeling for that to try to up my writing game. But those are the ones that I'm really into that are excellent.
Kyrun?
Well, there's this indie book I've been reading. It's called Heat. I've been enjoying that.
Right here.
Actually, I've been
right here.
Yeah, I've been going back and reading Firepower, which is from Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman.
And then I've been reading Radiant Black. I started reading that because
I like Radiant Black.
Yeah, that type of genre is just up my alley. I mean, if you back StarCore, then that's basically sort of like Radiant Black. It's that superhero guy gets a suit type of thing, the Guyver, and it's weird because people are like, "Oh, you like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers too, right?" And I'm like, "No, I don't like that. It's never been my jam."
Surprising. It's literally the same.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the epitome of the genre, actually.
I know,
because I know you say you like Darkhawk, and guy got
Yes.
the device that turns him into a superhero, and then you're I don't like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like,
I remember when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers debuted. Like, I remember where I was. I was with my best friend at the time. We were at his house, and we were watching TV, and it came on. We were anticipating it, and it came on, and they did the whole morph into the Zord, and we were like, "That's Voltron." Do not tell me that's not Voltron.
Right?
And at that point, we just turned it off. We're like,
you guys got really bougie with it. Like, oh
yeah.
This is my stars.
What the hell is this?
Clutch my pearls. This is absurd. How old are you?
Oh my.
Oh my.
I don't know, like 10, 11, 12? Wait.
How elitist were you at this age?
Bro, we had high standards for everything. All right, so I was 13 when it came out. I just looked up when Power Rangers released. I was 13. My best friend at that time, he probably would have been 12. So yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh man.
You want to hear another hilarious story about me and my best friend?
Here for it.
I'm here for it.
So okay, we know back in the 90s, Gambit was huge, right?
Yeah.
Like we knew.
Yeah.
So my friend and I, we both
Is
love
this
playing.
Gambit slander?
No, it is not.
Okay.
But, do you guys remember back in the day when Marvel was releasing their trading cards where you could get it had like all the stats of the characters and like that? So we got that and we were like, oh my God, we're Gambit. We used to throw the cards, but they were very flimsy. Like they wouldn't go that well. So what my friend and I did was we used some tape and started taping them together to get more weight. We get like 2 or 3 together and you could toss them really well. So we got like a stack together and we were just throwing at each other. We're running around his house. We're just throwing at each other. We're like, ha, I'm Gambit. Ha ha. The next thing I know, he's jumping up and off of like an ottoman. And he's like, ha, I'm Gambit. And I didn't know he was going to jump. So I just threw one in the air, just thinking it'd go above his head. This fool jumps in the air right in the same trajectory as the card I threw, hits him in the eye, and he just falls down to the ground like a rock. It was like, boom. And he's just on the ground, just covering his eyes, screaming.
Guess not.
And that was the last time Kyrun's parents ever bought him cards of any sort. That was the day cards were outlawed in the
Yeah.
Silva household.
After that, we went to go get him an eye patch, and we started calling him Pirate.
You know, I have a story just like that, and I probably told it on the show, but I'll tell it here. So it's the same thing. Kids being stupid, kids being dumb. My cousin and I had like 2 couches. I had like a full couch and a love seat in my house. One was on one side of the living room, one was on the other. I don't know why. I don't know why we did this to this day, but we were throwing like boots. We were throwing a boot back and forth. I don't know. I cannot we were just throwing a boot back and forth, and we're going back and forth. And then my cousin decided to duck. And there was this big picture of me and my mother on the wall with a glass like over. And so I chucked it. He ducked. Crash, smashed the whole thing. My mom comes downstairs. She's like, "What happened?" He points at me. I get my behind kicked.
No way.
He didn't even try like it was both of us. It was like, nah, it was Javon.
I was just like, he was throwing it. No, you threw it. And what am I going to say? Because literally, you don't need to be a physicist or a mathematician to see that I'm on one side, the boot is over there, my cousin is on the ground. Yeah. But that's cool, man. I like Radiant Black. I started collecting the trades for it.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting flow for story-wise.
Yeah.
Like it kind of goes in different places. Like I don't want to spoil anything on it, but it kind of takes like a sharp right turn at one point, and it's just like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah, I'm doing the trade also. I'm on the 2nd trade. I just finished. So
okay, I'm on the 3rd.
I was gonna buy the 3rd, but my shop was out of it. They had like 1, 2, and then 4 and 5. I was like, where the hell is
only
3?
3?
Are you sure?
There's only 3.
I gotta go back. I know. Okay, maybe it's not.
Kyrun is like the king of. Let me Google that
research.
But
it's so available.
I actually knew about Cross too. I've never seen a copy of Cross anywhere. Like I've seen like trades.
Yeah.
But like it seems like, I'm one of those people that if I can't find something, I might Wikipedia it. So like I know every story on Cross because I Wikipedia'd the whole damn series.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
but
a
I
crazy book.
There's a movie based on it, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, there's like an Asian like movie that's more or less an adaptation of Cross.
I'm gonna have to try to watch it then. I'm gonna have to look
I haven't seen it. It's literally like the same concept. You know, virus makes people go crazy and do immoral things. I haven't watched it yet, but I was watching the movie that's like it. The other movie that's like it is Mayhem.
Okay, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
that's a great movie. That's a fun movie.
Kyrun, you haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's really good. It's got the dude from The Walking Dead in it. And,
which one?
the Asian guy.
The one that lost his eye.
Glenn.
Yeah.
So you're a horror guy.
Invincible.
You like horror movies.
Oh yeah.
Are you a horror movie guy? Okay, all right. What's your favorite?
My favorite horror movie. I like Hellraiser, like the original Hellraiser. Just I like the way that the character is. He's not really actually the bad guy. He's just there to do his job. He wasn't the bad guy in the first one. He was one of the Cenobites, but he wasn't the bad guy. The bad guy, he was crazy. And I actually have the book that's based on, which is kind of fun. But yeah, that's my favorite one.
Daddy said you like Westerns.
I do not. I hate Westerns actually. And I do want to state that I want my roses. There is 4 volumes of Radiant Black right now.
There's 4?
There's 4.
Oh, snap. Why am I hearing an echo? I'm hearing an echo. Is that you, Kyrun? That's weird. I gotta look that up. I didn't know there was 4 because I have.
Oh, okay, wait. It's supposed to come out soon.
All right, let me just snatch those flowers.
He's trying.
Just snatch them metaphorical flowers. Oh my gosh, Karen. Do you guys have any favorite creators that you love who've put out stuff that have influenced you or impacted or impressed you? Where is the echo coming
It's going to be a weird thing because I'm not real good with people's names, but there is a creator that I've actually really enjoyed. His name is Dan Schaefer, and he did a comic book called Dog Witch. And so my love for actually the inking process came from the Dog Witch comics. And he's got a couple of movies out and stuff too. So he did a comic book called The Scribbler that got turned into a movie, and he's done another couple. But he's influential for me. And he's kind of fun to talk to on Facebook. It was weird to be able to touch bases with somebody you admire, you know?
from? Okay, Kyron.
That echo is bothering me now too. It's weird.
You can hear my echo?
Yeah, I heard
hear
your
it
echo.
anymore. I can't hear it anymore. Oh, I just heard it. I don't know where it is. I think it's you, man.
It's me?
I don't know. I don't know why I would be doing it. Hold on, let me see if I X out of that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is it echoing?
No.
That was
My
weird.
echo?
No, we're good.
All right, so Danny is actually correct. I did grow up as a Liefeld fan.
I liked Rob Liefeld growing up too.
Listen, there are a lot of people who want to make fun of Rob Liefeld now, and for what him as a person, I'm not going to speak of. But
Yeah,
his
him as a
artwork,
person is a douche, dude.
I didn't say that. I'm not.
I'll
burning
say it,
bridges.
dude.
I'm not burning bridges. I never said anything about him as a person. But his artwork, when it first came out, oh my gosh, dude,
Yeah.
that was like mind blowing. Youngblood, New Mutants, everybody loved that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I mean, I probably stylized my art after him. People like him, Ron Lim, were huge influences on me. Ron Lim is a nice person, just the total opposite of Rob Liefeld. And his family is so fun to hang out with, dude. Seriously. Ron Lim lives in Sacramento, so that's why I met him. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I've been to his house. So
you see him name drop right there. You see this?
I've actually drawn a wall mural right next to him. Just it's me
So
and
that
Ron Lim.
you introduced me to him at that last convention, huh?
Yep.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah. Just saying.
Ron Lim. Anyone else?
It was a cold introduction too. I didn't even know it was coming until it was gone. And then Kyron's like, "Hey, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "No, who?" And then he tells me, and I'm like, "Oh,
Hey, Kyron, that's not even funny.
Oh.
You're supposed to tell him. Give him a heads up.
Sorry, man. I thought he knew, but
I don't know what Ron Lim looks like in person.
he honestly looks like
vaguely.
He honestly looks like an Asian guy that would be your IT specialist.
I remember the picture of seeing him in Wizard. So I don't know how close he is to what he looks like now, but the only pictures I remember of creators are from like Wizard until I meet them in person.
Man, I wish they still had Wizard coming out.
As a fan, I wish they had Wizard coming out, but I've heard some stories about how Wizard actually ran and how they did like a lot of the promotions, and I don't like that.
Okay.
It was a lot of not necessarily listening to fans, but listening to whoever paid them the most to promote what book was coming out. And
it's not surprising. That's okay.
I get it. They were a business, so I'm not going to complain about it. So
I mean, it's the same thing the music industry does, same thing the movie industry does. It shouldn't be surprising. I remember like Heroes Unlimited. Like,
I remember
that's how far I go back.
I remember that.
It was not very good. I think it was like black and white. I'm not mistaken. Compared to like Wizard.
So.
Wizard was like, I still have Wizards downstairs in a big like tub. I've got pretty much every Wizard I've ever bought. I don't know why I keep them.
Javon's all like, I look at all the pretty pictures still.
I look at all the pretty pictures. I do.
That's all right. I read it for the articles, so
I do for everything, man.
I remember getting the Wizard magazine and like just cataloging how much my books are worth. Like every month
Yeah,
it would come out.
I used to do that
That
too.
was the first thing. You flip to
That-
the back and be like, all right, what's going on?
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is I had the first edition or the first appearance of a Jubilee. And for some reason, that thing was worth a lot of money.
It was. At the time, it was.
I was like, why is this book? It's just Jubilee.
She was super popular. She was like,
But I mean, we're talking about
popular.
this was like hundreds of dollars worth. I'm like,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you what the book is too. It's the one where Wolverine is on the cross, or on the X. That's it. Yeah, that's Wolverine.
Nope.
That's
Nope.
which is
it's
it?
not. It's the one where it has Storm, Rogue, Psylocke, and they go to a mall, and the cover shows the four of them cowering because they're being attacked from some off-scene version. Don't make me Google it. Trust me, I know it.
I'm Googling it right now.
Okay.
Just so you know, everybody can see my hands. I'm not Googling anything.
Hands up. Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. I know which one you're
I
talking
told
about.
you.
You're right. You're right. You're right. My bad.
But the whole book is just about them going to the mall, and then they're like trying on clothes and stuff. And then Jubilee's just watching them, just like a weird stalker, just going around the wall watching them.
Claremont did that a lot. Everybody's first appearance was in the hiding in the corner in shadows, looking at people like that every time.
But if you do read it and then go back and watch the first episode of the X-Men anime series, it's almost the exact same thing.
Yeah. That series was actually I was just watching it like 2-3 days ago. I watched the Alpha Flight episode randomly. Trying to get my son into X-Men, but it's not taking. It's not.
Yes, Danny, I still have that book of Jubilee. Yes, I do. I still have all my books. I've never sold any of my books.
I had a massive collection at one point. Massive. And I lost half of it.
I've had to re-up on quite a few. Yeah.
It was a traumatizing part of my life.
I have about 20.
Done that to me.
I have like 20 long boxes worth of comics upstairs. And I think I can fit about 200 books in each long box.
I've probably got about that much downstairs in big tubs, and over here, and right. I've kind of moved away from floppies though, so I don't buy as many floppies. The only floppies I get are like Kickstarter stuff. So every floppy I bought, for the most part, has been, yes, my family has a vault of comics. That is,
I know. I will like scroll when I go to the comic book shop. I'll scroll for any new books and I'll look for the number ones if it looks interesting, and then if I can come back and have the trade, then I'll dip in for that. But that's how I like discovering new stuff. I don't know why.
Like I tried to start collecting floppies again. I tried to collect Nightwing, the new Nightwing run. From Tom, it's like Tom Taylor.
Yeah,
the new Tom Taylor, and I got 2-3 issues in, and I just like forgot like the next month to go get it, and so I missed it because it sold out because it's doing so well. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll come back, and then I came back and I missed the next one, and so I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to trade. So like I've started reading Crossover from what's his name? Donnie Cates. Image from that. Excellence. Carrie Randolph. I picked up the first trade of that. Far Sector.
Yeah, Danny, we need to get Carrie Randolph on the show. If you can somehow talk to them or talk to him.
I don't know Carrie Randolph, but
I know, but I'm telling Danny
knows everybody. So
that's why I'm telling him to get Carrie Randolph on the show.
Well, okay, so do you guys have any favorite characters? Like any favorite comic book characters?
Silver Surfer and Darkhawk.
I think my favorite ones, I'll like go back to, like I said, Evil Ernie, and then like Lobo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the one comic book I actually have a slabbed copy of. Was the first appearance of Lobo. So that's the only one.
Lobo is like Wizard's favorite book. Like
It was, yeah.
it was like Wizard pushed the crap out of Lobo.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those where I don't know where the fans wanted it and where Wizard wanted to push it. Like, because I remember never meeting anybody that actually liked Lobo. Like,
It's a weird concept of a story.
Now I know.
It hit me at just the right time. I don't know how I was able to have it in the house, but I got the contract on God Run. And so it was indecent and vulgar enough that I really got into it. And I was like, okay. And I think that's what it was. It was just all timing.
Sean's up here sneaking comics inside the house so his mom doesn't see it.
You're the guy that Fred Wortham was talking about.
It's not even like pornographic stuff, too. It's just violence.
The reason why
I know, you're just hiding Lobo.
Being able to get it is
I learned it from watching you. It's funny. I didn't read like mature books until I was in my 20s. Like, I really wasn't reading like I think the first mature title I read was Preacher.
Okay.
Like, Preacher was the first one where I was like, what the hell is this? I was just, like, Preacher was so bad. How old was I? Oh my God. Preacher came out in the late 90s or was it the early 2000s?
Yeah. It was
So
like
I was
late 90s.
I was like 17, 18. My mother could care less what I was reading. But in my mind, I was like, I don't think my mom wants me to read this. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be reading it. I kept
show up in your room and you got a picture of ass face there.
Oh my goodness.
That would have been
Oh my God.
Like, it's a Star Wars character, Mom. It's a Star Wars character.
But that opened the door for me though, because like I literally read Preacher like once a year. I will read the entire run start to finish once a year.
Did you like the TV series?
I like parts of the TV series. They took liberties, that I think changed the entire nature of the story.
Yeah,
in a way that didn't fit the narrative.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was. I think I watched like the first full season, and then I watched half of the second season, and then I was
sounds
like,
about me too.
I'm out because him and having Tulip and Cassidy together while Jesse was still there, it screws everything up. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Yeah. I dropped in to watch the last episode, but I mean, I don't even remember what I watched.
Did they get to the point where they brought in Jesus in the TV series? I didn't. I watched like the first season. They introduced Jesus.
When I say I watched the last episode, I watched the last, not the full season, the last episode. I was just like, let me see where it ends. But they took it was very similar to what happened with Walking Dead. But
that makes sense.
Walking Dead did it better.
Anthony says they did. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But
was
Walking Dead did it better than me. Walking Dead took changes. The only thing I don't like that Walking Dead did, and I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's the actress's fault or the script. But what's her name? Oh my gosh. She became insufferable.
So there's too many of those people on there for
Lori, the wife. The wife was just bafflingly annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one, the blonde one.
Dale's girl.
Yeah. She the one slept with the mayor or the whatever, and it was just like both of them. It was too much for me. I was like, no. I think I checked out at Walking Dead like season 4.
Oh, really?
I lost it mid-season 3. It got too slow in season 3.
No, season 3 was the mayor though, right?
I don't even remember. It's been a bit. Just kept watching.
He jumped the shark.
I watched everything up until the last season.
There's a lot of shows that I'm still watching because I'm a completionist. I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy because I'm a completionist. I just want to see how it ends. I've been on this road too long.
My wife used to be in the Grey's Anatomy, and I was like, because she works in the medical field. I'm like, don't you get all this at work too? She's like, yeah, guess so.
So I've told this story about how I got into Grey's Anatomy. I went with a friend of mine to a party. And so we're at the party, and my friend is talking to his friend whose party it was, and she asked him, has he seen Grey's Anatomy? And he was like, no. Why would I watch Grey's Anatomy? And we both answered the same way. And so she's like, no, you're not leaving until we watch Grey's Anatomy. And so like the first season is like 7 episodes or something like that. Bruh, we watched 7 episodes straight.
Okay, was there drinking involved during this?
We got in the car.
You did that sober?
Kyrun, we got in the car and we both looked at each other. We were like, yo, that was a really good show.
I get that, but Grey's Anatomy is what, an hour long?
It was 5 episodes. Was it 5 or 7? I don't know, but we watched either the full season or really close to the first full season.
I mean, once you took out the commercials,
you're still looking at least a good 4 hours there. Y'all sit there.
We watched every episode. We got in the car. We were like, I guess we're fans. All right, let's just keep it riding. And I haven't missed an episode.
Wow. I've seen the episode, and I've never been like, yeah, I got to keep watching this for 3 straight hours.
All right, so I got an unorthodox question for you. I've never asked a guest this, so I'm going to ask you both. Who would you cast as the main character in I Drive for Cerber if it were to be picked up for like a TV series or a movie?
Oh, wasn't that already discussed? What's dude's name?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba was.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was modeled after Idris Elba. So in working with Mofucius for I Drive for Cerber, we kind of reached in a little bit to see how they pictured in their mind the characters, and then we leaned into it. So Idris Elba is Jim.
Okay. Idris Elba. Okay. All right. Okay.
If he was still alive, my choice would be Chadwick Boseman. If he was still alive.
Okay.
I would want to go a little bit younger than Idris.
Yeah.
But that'd be my choice.
Okay. You can't give him all the black roles, man. There are other actors out there that can act, Kyrun. There are other black actors out there.
Fine. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God.
Nah. So yeah, so like a lot of the characters were actually discussed. Like we got a character by the name of Borg, like this big ogre, and he is ogre basically from what is that? Nerds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So there's influences for each of the characters too. So
okay, fine. If not Samuel L. Jackson, we'll go put it Leon.
Leon from the Five Temptations, the 5 Heartbeats.
Yes.
Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis.
Oh, man.
I can see that though. I can see it though. He's got the long face. I can see that. I can see it. If he's not too busy doing arabesque films for BET. Oh man, I just dated myself. Yeah, listen, guy, I'm sorry if you're too young to understand what arabesque films are, but BET used to play movies, and they were all under that same umbrella of arabesque. All right, this is back before DVR, when you had to like tape things on these little rectangles. I don't think you guys are aware of them.
Back when all the premium channels were squiggly lines.
Oh yeah, when you're like watching real close to see what you're watching.
Is that what I think it is? No,
wait.
That was an elbow. No, wait.
When I talk to my kids about stuff, like I try to explain to them life pre-2000, and their brains just explode. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my son. He's 4. Like he's not gonna when he gets to be 18, like that's gonna feel so far away.
My girlfriend's youngest son just had his birthday yesterday, and for his birthday I got him a Walkman because that's what he wanted. It was heartbreaking and endearing to watch him try to figure out how to take the cassette, which was the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack cassette, and try to put it in, and he was trying to put it in without slipping it into those catchers, and then it was sideways, and then he finally figured that out, and it was funny. It was great, and he was excited to have it though.
I tried to explain to my kids one time the concept of having a house phone and that being the only phone in the house, because all of them have cell phones. And they're like, so you take that with you? Like, no, you leave it on the counter. And then when you need to go make a phone call, you walk over to the counter, dial a number. Like,
I'm not gonna
lie,
how
do you play games on it?
Yeah, I missed
Try rotary phones. I tried to explain rotary phones. Like,
yeah.
I remember I had this. I told them I had this big TV. Remember, TVs used to be like huge, like big ass boxes.
Yeah, they were hella
especially
wide
if you had a projection TV.
Yeah, I'm talking before that. I'm talking even before when it was like it looked like a piece of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I had a big furniture, and like it had like buttons for every station, and like I had to get up and press them. You had to get up and press the button. There was no remote.
And it was just fun to spin the UHF dial because it had all those extra clicks in it.
Oh my goodness!
Remember when
y'all are so old and we're rich as kids apparently.
Y'all remember when they had like satellite TVs first debut and they're like huge, gigantic things in their backyard? Your one friend that would get you like, oh my God.
You literally had a big satellite dish in your backyard. I'm talking like
it was like gigantic,
like NASA big. Like it was like
that's where like the movie Stay Tuned came in.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Oh my gosh, I'm so old.
I love that.
I just watched that last year. I just watched Stay Tuned last year. I forgot how much I love that movie.
They had to bring it in with a crane and you plug it in, the whole neighborhood goes dark for a second because it just took up that much energy.
I know. I listen. I'm going to lean into the vibe. I can remember my mom literally not caring where I was for hours on end.
As long as you're home before
go outside and have fun. I was like, bye, I'll be back. I used
as
to be
long as you were home before those streetlights came on, you good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to be like everywhere. Like I can't imagine letting my kids just run amok. Like,
but you knew when to come home though, right? Like you had that feeling. Oh my God, the streetlights are about to come on. Let me go home and just run.
But like my mother could not find me. Like just think about that for a second. Like think about the world we live in right now. Like your parents would have to go search for you. Like there's no cell phone.
There's no GPS tracking you. Nope. They'd have to ask your friend where they last saw you, and
they had to call the parents of the other friend, or oh my gosh,
you had to estimate as a kid as to whether or not you were close enough to just hear a voice if it was yelling at you, so you could go like booking it home if you just thought you heard.
Oh man! Oh,
I remember my parents. They used to not even let us in the house during the day. They used to make our sandwiches or whatever and leave them on the porch for us. We wouldn't even know what time it was. We'd show up and there's food on the counter.
You get mad when you gotta go to the bathroom. Like I got a bathroom. Why are you so bad? Stay in or out.
Why you bring the outside inside? You better make sure you close that door when you go use the bathroom too. Don't leave that front door open.
Dude, I remember. No cap. I remember. I used to be in this thing called Pathfinders. It's like Boy Scout, Girl Scout, but for church.
I thought this was a gang you were in.
Yeah, Pathfinder. That's a gang.
He's up here like, was it Grease? He's like,
yeah. Grease. Anyway, we used to like We used to like go on like camping trips and stuff like that. But like when you were, I'm a teenage boy, and you go on camping trips, and there will be with other churches. So other churches, Pathfinder clubs would come visit, and so like you're a kid. The whole point was getting numbers. Writing them in a little black book.
Dang,
We
Javon
used
up
to get
here.
addresses, but we used to get addresses because they would be like from New York, they'd be from Boston, whatever. And you didn't want to run up like your long distance bill. So I literally was writing letters to girls. I was writing letters. Like,
Javon Romeo Stokes.
hey, listen, man. Listen, I can't help it, man. That's what you did. The whole point was to just get numbers. Forget all
With
the
the hope
religious
that he'd
stuff
probably
that
get
was
one
happening. Forget all the religious stuff that was happening.
You were just
man.
hoping
All
to
right, I
hold
went to a
somebody's hand
private
at
school
camp.
for 7 years, so
Oh, all right. Okay. Now you said you're from Ohio?
no, I'm from California. So born in Sacramento actually, and then raised until I was about 17. And
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I just
I
said that
lived in
to mess with
Ohio
Kyrie.
for 7 years and then came back to California.
Okay. All right. So tell me about, because I've never been to a con on the West Coast. Now, have you ever been to cons on the East Coast?
I haven't, no, but I assume it's got to be like schools. The schools on the East Coast are all inside, and all the schools in California are outside.
So you do cons outside?
Yeah, we surf up in our surfboards.
Yeah.
The wave just like brings us into it.
All right, Zach. All right, Slater. Dude, when I was young, my whole idea of California was based on Saved by the Bell. I gotta be perfectly honest. And California Dreams. Like when I watched those shows, that's what I thought California was like.
Dude, when I moved to Ohio and people heard I was from California, people were swearing I had an accent, and I didn't understand it at all.
But you probably did though have an accent.
I probably did. I mean,
then?
I said dude a lot, like a lot, like, and then yeah.
I just thought like everybody surfed. I was like, everybody was at the beach all the time.
Well, see, and the sad part was I had to play. I like my grandfather lived in Huntington Beach, and so we would go and do those things. So when people were asking, I was like, well, yeah. I never understood the stigma behind it until like later, but I was like, oh, I guess I was that guy.
Kyrun, did you surf?
No, I've never surfed in my life. I ain't never surfed.
Wait, so let me ask you.
Wait.
I'm assuming.
Javon.
It's like, don't go near water.
I can't stand Kyron, man. I can't. So wait a minute. So y'all old enough to have lived when Saved by the Bell was on. Did you ever watch it? It was like, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but we also knew that there are parts of California that are like that. They just weren't near us.
Okay, I was just curious, like, because like we have the same thing, like on the East Coast. There's certain times where like I would watch like certain movies and they would pretend like the East Coast was like a war zone, and I used to be like, it's really not. like I can walk outside, guys. Like I never been jacked before in my life,
No, but I mean, like I'm close enough to a beach. I'm like an hour and a half away from a beach where I live right now. I'm an hour and a half away from going skiing right now.
Oh, really?
Like,
yeah, that's right. Because
I can go up to Reno and go gambling if I want. So
yeah,
Sacramento's from Reno.
About an hour
Really?
and a half.
Okay.
I mean, that's the cool thing about where I am is I could do almost anything I want within a 2-3 hour time frame.
Because when I think of Sacramento, I think you're further up north, but you're not.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
It's way up there. California is a long state.
Yeah, I know, but you're closer to Washington State, right?
Compared to what though? I mean,
compared to like LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about 9 hours north of LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of Nevada, how far is it from LA to like Reno?
From LA to Reno, you're talking about a good half a day of driving.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. Like I said, I've only been to the West Coast. I've been twice. I've been to LA both times because I have some family out there. So like my old interpretation of the West Coast is Anthony asks, is Lake Tahoe nearby?
Closer to Lake Tahoe than LA for sure.
Yeah, about an hour or so.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
got to go up through the Grapevine and get there, but
but I hate driving that because there's a point where you drive up to Lake Tahoe where you are driving on the edge of a cliff and there's no railing, and it's just one lane. It's literally just one lane, and it's a winding lane. So you're just driving, and you look over, and you're like, "Oh, there's like 1,000-foot drop right there. If I just veer off to the right just a little bit, yeah, okay, fine."
So for you guys, all that stuff is like New York for me. Like Connecticut is about 2 hours from New York.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm 2 hours from Boston. Connecticut is a really interesting spot because I can go to New York and just chill for a day and come back home, go to Boston. That's why I do most of my cons in that area. But it sounds like you guys don't go to cons that are in like lower California.
Not usually, mostly because those cons are expensive more than anything.
Yeah, because the next one south from us is like San Francisco.
And they don't have a con every year.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
I heard they have what's the name of that con? Not Comic. No, that's San Diego.
WonderCon?
Is it WonderCon that's in San Francisco?
WonderCon used to be in San Francisco, and then they moved it down to Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
Or Los Angeles, like a few years ago, because San Francisco is expensive to just do anything there.
Yeah.
It's too expensive for them to rent out a house or a hall. So they just moved everything out of it. They just brought back a convention like 3 years ago. And even that first couple of years have been very shaky for them, from my understanding. So like the biggest cons, honestly, for us are the ones here in Sacramento. Outside of that, you have to go down to LA to get to anything really big.
Yeah. Well, you got Emerald Con that's near you, right? Emerald Con is up in Seattle, right? How far is Seattle from you guys?
Like a good
6 hours from where we're at.
7 hours. Yeah.
That's not bad. That's about what I drive to go to Baltimore Comic Con. It's about like an hour less than what I do. That's about the limit of how far down I'm going to drive. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's not true because I'm going to do Philadelphia Comic Con.
No one thought rails. Okay, so I do want to address. Wait, somebody said no one thought rails might be a good idea. All right, so is it Savion?
Yeah.
So Savion, California has actually been trying to build a light speed rail that connects the entire city or the entire state for the past like 20 years.
No, I think he means rails for the
rails along the highway.
Along the highway.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, they don't want anybody out there. Nobody wants to go out there, dude.
That's how they keep the population low out there.
Have you, Shaun? Have you driven like to Tahoe? And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's stupid.
It's insane, but it's pretty.
So how often do you guys? Well, so this is my last question. Then we'll get into the top 5. How often do you guys get to cons?
He's definitely more accessible to the cons than I am, because I'm about an hour or so north of where he's at. So I've been kind of detached, and I'm trying to work on the awareness. I don't know how to dig in for that info, but I know that Kyrun's way more active with the con circuits and stuff than I am.
There's actually a website that collects all the Comic Cons. There's a few of them that you could literally give you the links for all of them.
Oh, see, and I didn't know that.
It gives you the dates. Like yeah. Just Google Comic Con schedules or Comic Con. It usually pops right up. That's what I go by.
Dang, Javon, you just giving out all my secrets. Now he's gonna make me think like I'm not as important as I really am now. Okay.
He's all, are you really?
I was gonna say it, but all right. So we got 10 minutes left, and I know I can hear Kyrun's belly rumble from here. So
We both
for
haven't
those,
eaten.
I mean, it's only like 3:00 where you at right now. Like, so I don't know where you guys.
Wait, how did it start? We started the show. You said it was 4, and now we're going back in time.
That's how it works, right? Isn't that
Caught up on our
Daylight
age
savings?
stuff.
No,
Now he's just quoting songs from like Back to the Future.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Gadzooks, this is heavy.
Oh, Danny's actually being helpful here. Like, hold on. I almost blocked him. I didn't mean to do it. I almost blocked you, Danny. I apologize. Conventionseed.com. Here's another one. There you go. Anyway, okay. All right. So usually we do a top 5. And since your book, I drive for Cerber, I'm going to make sure we throw that image up and keep that link there. There it is. I drive for Cerber, a creepypasta comic. That's awesome. Awesome. We're going to keep it right there. Right there, everybody. Right there. Kickstarter. Go ahead, please. Support. Stop being lazy. The money doesn't come out right away. That's literally everybody who does a Kickstarter has to say this. The money doesn't come out right away. You have time. You get paid at least twice between now and when it goes out. So you've got time. All right. That's the best way to put it. Since your book is kind of a comedy, top 5 favorite comedies.
Like just straight comedies or just
whatever type of comedies you like.
So gay comedies, is that not straight comedies? Gay comedies, is that what we're trying to say?
That's what floats your boat.
Look, okay, top 5.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm a big fan of like
no
Billy
particular
Madison.
Order. All right.
Like Billy Madison. I will go Tommy Boy. I will go what? Horrible Bosses was funny. I will go with, I don't know, top 5 comedies.
This is hard.
The Hangover. I know that was hilarious when I watched it. And then Step Brothers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Danny wants to know what is the top 5. It's top 5 things we hate. And Sean says Step Brothers is
top 5 things that annoy us about Danny J. Quick. Number 1, asking questions when you're not paying attention. Number 1. Number 2, putting movies that haven't come out on his list. That is a number 2.
What was the movie? It was with Jamie Foxx.
Mike Tyson movie that never came out.
Right.
Mike Tyson. Number 3, doubting the greatness of Michael Jackson. All right, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kyra.
This is hard. There's a lot of good comedies. All right, I do have to put Rush Hour in. Danny's right on that one.
Jesus, terrible.
It's not my number 1, but it's definitely my top 5. Dodgeball is up there.
That's a good time out before you keep going. Have you ever seen the alternate ending?
I think so.
Where like, so if you've seen Dodgeball, there's the part of the movie at the end, and I'm spoiling it. It's a movie. It's like 20 years old, whatever. Yeah. Where like the good guys think they lose, where Vince Vaughn gets hit, and they start celebrating. The alternate ending, they just cut it right there. They literally go to white and they cut it right there.
So there's no scene with Chuck Norris and nothing?
That's the end of it. Nope, that's the end of the movie.
That's
dude. Fun. I watched that. Me and my friend watched that. We laughed for like an hour. For a straight hour. Man. Oh man, I'm sorry. Okay. Rush Hour, Dodgeball.
Rush Hour, Dodgeball. History of the World Part 1. That's an old one, but go watch it. That's hilarious. Okay. It's raunchy as hell, but it's hilarious. Coming to America and Friday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do now. Full disclosure, we've done this top 5 before, but I swear to God, I can't remember.
Ooh, Tropic Thunder is a good one too.
No, actually, you know what? I might cheat here. I might
I'm
have
just
it
gonna
somewhere.
go back and
I'm just gonna go back and look at what I did. Let me see if I can find it.
Idiocracy is really good. I know a runner-up for me would probably be
Idiocracy.
Basketball. If you haven't seen it,
I've never
I've
seen
baseball.
that.
so
I've never
Basketball
seen
is hilarious. Trey Parker and Matt Stone made that one, and then
Yeah.
there's another comedy that they made called Orgasmo. That is
I've seen that.
hilarious.
I've seen
Yeah.
that. I thought that was weird. I was like they went too far. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm watching here. Like this is a bit much. I'm gonna tap out here. I'm gonna tap out. Oh man, oh Jesus! I don't think we did wrong.
Baseballs is another good one.
Oh Jesus, what is it?
Yeah.
All right, so whatever. I can't remember my list. I'm just going off the top of my head.
What's up,
Coming to
Facebook
America.
user?
Coming to America. It's got to be on my list.
It's got to be.
Anchorman. Anchorman is still one.
I can never get into Anchorman.
No.
I've watched it and just.
I was. It's so funny to me. I'm laughing right now, and like I'm watching it.
Okay.
Talladega Nights.
Okay.
Talladega Nights is probably one of the few movies where, no joke, in the movie theater, I'm in the middle of the aisle, laugh on the floor. Like I was. It was that funny to me.
So it's safe to say you're a Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah,
I am a Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely a Will Ferrell fan.
Okay.
Jeez. Friday, maybe. Friday was a good one.
Friday's a good one, dude.
Jeez, what's my fifth?
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
No.
I mean, it's funny, but not in the top 5.
Yeah, not top 5 funny. Oh, that's hard. You know what? For this purpose, I'll say Ace. No. Liar was funny in Ace Ventura.
You think so?
I don't know, man. Because you know what it is. I had a different mentality when Ace Ventura came out as a different age.
Will Ferrell,
other guys, the other guys. That was
Blazing Saddles. Oh, forgot about that.
Full disclosure, I think I might have seen it. Can't remember.
Blazing Saddles is fun.
Blazing Saddles. Stepdads was okay.
That was okay.
Oh, that's right. They did 2 movies. They did the Other Guys and they did Stepdads.
Three Amigos. Forgot about that movie. Damn it. There's
I love the Three Amigos.
Three Amigos is underrated.
I love the Three Amigos. Oh my goodness. I love the Home Alone series. Who said that?
I don't know. I don't think they heard what the actual list is.
I don't want to talk about my viewers, but
they said the series, which means it's not just the first one.
I know.
It's
like a whole 3 or 4 of them. Like,
yeah,
that's sad. Three Amigos is properly rated as a comedy.
No, it's underrated.
I don't think people remember it that much. Yeah. It was really.
It's never talked about in like a top 5, top 10 list, and it should be.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my funny ones. Yeah, that's my 5. I know it's not my 5 from the show. We do so many lists on that show. I just can't remember them all.
And you're not going to be the same all the time. Different stuff strikes you differently.
Well, so the thing about it is that was our favorites. That was our favorite. He said, "What? You always talk about our viewers on top?" No, I don't. I do not. Our viewers talk about you, Danny. Don't be mad at me. Go read an audiobook.
I know when I mentioned mine were like movies I could watch over and over again for sure.
I'm so sorry.
He said, "Go read an audiobook." Okay, yeah, you do talk about Robert. That's true. That makes sense though.
Well,
for obvious reasons.
You know, the funny part about Robert is I blocked Robert on Facebook. But I mean, I talked to him on the show, but he hit me on a bad day, and I didn't feel like
Danny up here giving receipts of everybody.
I feel like Danny's just going through old streams and just
number one,
copy pasting names into the chat.
Us. Kevin talks about us. Morgan Iverson is a part of the show. He is fair game. Kenji is.
It's Kenji.
Why do y'all keep trying to drag this back into? I'm trying to move on.
Wait, hold up, wait. I remember. I know. I remembered. I was going to do that next time I was on
You
your
left. That's the episode you left. You early.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, that was a
that
prime
was
example of
hilarious.
like if you're at a party and you're like, man, this party ain't good, and then you leave early, and then at the next day everybody's like, oh man, this dude jumped off the roof. Like you missed.
You guys were talking about so much. I had to go back and watch the episode, and I was like, what happened? Next thing I know, and then Morgan leaves. I'm like, oh wow.
Morgan didn't let. No, he didn't leave. He didn't leave. Morgan
He checked out. He might not have on the camera left, but he was checked out.
I'm never gonna live this down, and that's fine. Like me and Kenji, we don't, we're cordial, we cool, y'all. Like ain't no beef. Like I'm not trying to, we're not gonna see each other in a Comic-Con and have it out. Not on my side, But that was not a good look. It was not a good look for me, and I'm not gonna apologize for it, but it won't happen again. Y'all don't have to worry about it. I will I will mute myself before that happens again. Oh man, go ahead, guys. Pitch your book one more time for the people before you leave.
All right. I Drive for Cerber, the story about Jim, and out of work and apparently underpaid guy looking for a new job, applies for one and finds out that it is an ride transportation service, kind of like Uber for the paranormal. And now he's got to survive not only delivering his patrons to their destinations, but he's also got to survive the night.
Why you gotta keep bringing that picture up?
Awesome. So listen, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for watching a Stoked Podcast. We do appreciate you. We're always going to support. If you need to come on for another project, just hit me up. I would love to have you guys on. I'd love to have repeat guys come on. I haven't had it much, but that's because so many people will, are jumping. Hey, Kyrun, I need to come on your show, man. I got a book to pitch, and I've been waiting.
I'm gonna come back on your show when I pitch my next book called Caliente. It's about this Mexican dude who has fire powers.
My lawyers will be in touch. So before we leave, I just had to do one more thing. I don't know what the hell is going on right here, but I had to make sure that the world saw this again. If you didn't see it before, you saw it now. This is Kyrun in his natural habitat.
Do I get to provide context of what happened here?
No. Thank you guys for joining a Stoked Podcast, Creative Talk of Creative People. If you want to provide, if you want to hear Kyrun's context, feel free to hit him up on his podcast that comes on Saturdays. Go ahead, Kyrun. Talk about it.
Saturdays, join me and Danny J. Quick on the Four Tails podcast, where we basically do this. We talk to other comic creators. No, Danny, that is not a normal Sunday for me. That was Halloween. And if you guys want to find out what really happened,
talking. Excuse me, sir.
I'm trying to say, if you want to find out why, join my podcast on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can check us out at fourtailspodcast.com. You can go to YouTube/fourtailspodcast. Check us out.
And Shaun, tell them where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Facebook as Shaun Barbour. You can find me on TikTok as Instinct. And you can find me on Twitter and what's the other one? Instagram as Instinct Comics.
And as always, you can find me at visuallystoked.com. If you want to support Stoked Podcast financially, feel free to hit me up on Cash App. Help the party keep going. And as always, you can go to visuallystoked.com right now and pre-order Heat number 2. This is the cover for it. You can get Heat number 2, or you can pick up the collection Heat 1 through 3, plus the trade, plus the graphic novel. There's 150 pages of content. Or you can go get Heat number 1. This is the first issue of the ongoing series, which Heat number 2 comes before Heat number 2. Or you can pick up Strong. We got a lot of products there that we know you would love. Please join us next week where we will talk with who are we talking to? Bill McCormick, author Bill McCormick. You guys enjoy the weekend. Thank you for coming on. And listen, thank you so much for talking to me. I do appreciate you coming on. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm rooting for Bane. So I don't care who wins. I don't care. Like neither brings me joy. I'm rooting for commercials.
There you go.
And go Celtics. We can't wait. I'm gonna have you guys on the show when the Celtics and the Sacramento Kings meet in the NBA Finals. We'll have you guys on there. We're gonna have that.
Hey, we might have a chance this year. What are you talking
in
about?
the middle just to keep you two apart.
We're third in the West right now. We are third in the West
right now.
Two games behind second. So don't try it.
It's just a lot of season, and y'all just got 3 nuclear weapons that came in your conference.
Seriously, that was ridiculous.
It's gonna be rough. But y'all have a great weekend. Thank you guys for joining. Talk to you.